it's Val once again with more Halloween stuff. I hope you're doing well because I am doing great. In fact, I am super excited about this video because I'm about to share something new with you. On this channel, I already shared a lot. I shared my artistic side with my Monsters project. I shared some memories of my childhood and some pieces of my Halloween collection. But there's something I haven't shared with you yet, and it's my love for cinema and television. This video will focus on non-fiction, like documentaries or TV competitions, things like that, things in which you get to see real people share their real love for Halloween. Because I don't know about you, but for me, this is the best way to put me in the mood. There's something about knowing those people really exist and really celebrate Halloween the way they do. But before going through that list, I will love to explain to you why cinema is that important to me. When I was young, I grew up in a very strict household, so TV was kind of my escape. I was living through the movies and the TV shows I was watching. I was obsessed with them. For years, I spent my summer vacation at the video store. I was always in the horror section where nobody was. It was my place, and I never had enough. I remember I had a membership to every single video store nearby, just so I had a bigger selection of movies. In college, I studied traditional animation, but I ended up making comics. When you think about it, making a comic book is a little bit like making a movie. You need a script and a storyboard, you need to think about your camera angles and your lighting. So both disciplines are similar, and I think that's what I loved about my job. When I was still working before having my kids, I was watching at least 2 movies a day. I could do that because of my job, because I was always on the computer. I was drawing on my main screen, and something else, something spooky was running in the background on my second monitor. And because of that, I've seen tons of stuff. Today, I think I came up with a pretty strong list that I would love to share with you. Let's start with the documentaries. I've seen a lot of Halloween documentaries, but to me, 2 of them really stood out. And it's funny because they are kind of the opposite of each other. One is more focused on the scary part of Halloween, while the other one focuses on the magic and the nostalgia. They are both good, but I have to admit, I have a favorite one, and it's the American Scream. For me, this is a classic. There's not a single Halloween that passes by without me watching this. This is so good. If you haven't seen the American Scream, I'm telling you, you want to see this. This is candy for the soul. Basically, it's about 3 home hunters from the same neighborhood who are getting ready for Halloween. And as they are building their hunt, you see them go through a roller coaster of emotion. They have to deal with family, with stress, with finances. But their biggest concern is time. They have a deadline, Halloween night. As the documentary starts, a countdown pops on screen. 30 days to Halloween. Just that is enough to get me excited. I want to see more, and it works because when the big day finally arrives, it's really satisfying for the viewer. Each storyline is unique and each family is doing it for a different purpose. For example, Victor wants to become professional with his hunt, so he's putting his heart and his soul into this project, and he's making beautiful things. If you love seeing people work with their hands on spooky projects, you will love this part because Victor is incredible. So that's why I think his goal is reachable to go pro, but you can tell it's putting a lot of pressure on its family.
We have no room. Why are you doing this? We have no room to store this. You have no room to put these things. We'll find room. Yeah.
It's my favorite storyline of all, for many reasons, but mostly because I can see myself in Victor. So I guess that's why I want him to succeed. And then we see the Halloween guy, the guy who is building his hunt out of trash and recycled things. For him, it's more a community thing. He wants to bring people together. He wants to create beautiful memories for the kids. I think he wants to be remembered his own way.
I do decorate for Christmas, don't get me wrong. I have a Christmas tree with skulls on it. I have a fireplace that's filled with skull bones and coffins.
And finally, there's the father and the son. Those two are so funny. They have a pretty strong relationship. They live together and they work together. So I assume that's why they decided to start this hunt, to bound. But it's funny because they can't stand each other. They are always arguing over the smallest thing. So as a viewer, it's very fun to see. And they are adorable.
The ends are what show. The ends are kind of like this. They're ripped and you miss the point. I don't know what you're trying to do.
I love everything about this documentary. It's all about the magic, about the anticipation of the night, about following your dreams. It's truly beautiful, and I know I can rely on that to put a smile back on my face if something happens in my life, if I feel down. So I think it's unique and special when you have that in your life. And you know what? You can watch it all for free. I found a link that works. I will leave it in the description below. You don't even need an account. It's on Plex. So have fun watching it. Now let's talk about the other documentary called Hunters, the Art of Scare. This one focuses more on fear, so if you're more into Halloween cute, this might not be for you. This documentary answers big questions like, why do we enjoy being scared? Or why do we enjoy scaring other people? The documentary uses the hunt phenomena as an answer to those questions. Hunts are so immersive, they seem to be the perfect way to respond to those needs. But I'm not talking about normal hunts here. In this documentary, we are talking about disturbing stuff.
Been to haunted houses my entire life, years on end. There's nothing like this one that I've only dreamt of doing. Things that I would lose my marriage over. Things that would put me in jail for the rest of my life.
It's a pretty complete documentary. There's a part about the history of hunts and why they exist. There's also a part about scare actors, a side that we don't often see.
I'm an executive assistant. October is my time to go crazy, and everything I'd like to say to the executives, I can just scream at the guests.
Overall, it was interesting, but for me it was a little bit too long. I think they spent too much time on scare actors. I would prefer to see things being built, to see people get creative with their hands, you know? And sadly, there's not a lot of that in this documentary. But still, there are good parts too. My favorite one is about Ross and his home hunt, McKimmey Manor.
It's more extreme terror experience.
She's gone.
Ross really stood out by his personality. The first time you saw him, he looks like a big teddy bear. He's charming, he's charismatic, and you almost want to become his friend. But I guarantee you, you don't want to become his friend. You don't want to be too close to his house, you don't want to be too close to his hunt, because once you go in, you don't go out until he decides to. You're trapped, you're his.
Pick it up now!
Walk around a bit.
Watch her, look at her. Keep his eyes on her.
You can ask him a million times, please let me out, and he won't let you out. You can say whatever you want to him. At that time, you're his, and he has the control over you. So in the documentary, you see him really creepy, really sadistic. it's weird, and he used to film the whole thing and put it online. But you also see him in the documentary being very human. He's collecting money to help dogs. So I guess you will have to look at the documentary yourself to really understand what I mean by that. But he's lovable, and at the same time you hate him.
The Caney Manor does not have a safe word. That's just weak.
No! I can't do this, please let me out! Get me down! I can't see anything! Get me down!
And the cool thing is that you can watch it all for free on YouTube with ads. So I will leave the link in the description, like I did with the American stream. I love competitive shows, and even more when it's Halloween related. I don't know, there's something about seeing people push themselves to their limits, to show they are the best, to show what they are capable of. It's really entertaining to me. Even though sometimes it can be a little bit stressful to watch, but you know what, it's part of the game. Let's start with Tiny House Nation Halloween Special. I was not sure if I should put this one or not in my list, because today it must be impossible to find. There's not even a single rating on IMDb, just to give you an idea of its popularity. But I had no other choice. I had to put this one in my list. I loved it too much, and the concept of it is just too fun. If you're into tiny houses and Halloween, this is for you. A group of haunted house experts are brought into the woods, into this spooky domain full of tiny houses, and the concept is simple. Each group has their house, and they have 5 days to convert it into a tiny haunted house. A pretty fun concept if you ask me. There's a lot of things I love about this show, but my favorite one is making everything from scratch. They are building their haunts by pimping things around the house, and I love this. I wanted creativity earlier, I have creativity here, and during the show they are trying to give little tips to people at home so they can try as well. It's super fun, but you have to remember it's only 40 minutes. In 40 minutes you cannot go deep into things. It's not enough to show everything. And on top of that, they are adding a challenge out of nowhere. I hate it when they do that in competitions. They want to put more pressure on the candidates, but for the viewer it's only frustrating. Mainly it's just a distraction for the main goal. It was a different concept. I loved it. They wanted to prove you can decorate such a small space. They wanted to help people with smaller house to find tips and ideas of how to decorate their house. So that's fun. But let's be real. If you have a house that small, where are you going to store your decorations? Finally, I love what they accomplished with those tiny houses. It's so impressive, but I will not show you the results, just in case somebody wants to watch it and manages to find it. But I'm curious, if you ever seen that one, please let me know in the comments. I feel there's not a lot of people who saw this. Now I would love to talk about something a little bit more popular, Halloween Wars. This show has been around forever now. I think they are about to start their 13th season this year, so yeah, this might be a classic to a lot of you. This is one of mine. I'm always super excited when a new season comes out. Each team is composed of a baker, a pumpkin carver, and a sugar artist. They are all professional. They must put their talents together to create the best Halloween cakes. You know, this show is all about cakes, enormous cakes. And if they manage to do that, they will go home with $50,000. I love that show because you get to see real talent, but there's something off with the way the teams are formed. I think they are mixed up randomly by the production, but because of that, most of the time, the teams are not well balanced. The best challenger of the competition can be eliminated the first day if he's in a weak team. So for the viewer, it can be frustrating on that. But sometimes the teams are well balanced. Sometimes members of the same team are on the same level. And when it happens, it's magical. You know it's a good team when you have difficulties determining who did what. And if you love teams, you will love this show. Each episode has its own team. Monster Party, Evil Clowns, Haunted Motel, Adam Family Dream Vacation. These are a few examples of teams they had in the past, just to give you an idea of how fun it is. When I'm watching a competitive show, I love to pick a side. Early in the competition, I choose a team that I love and I cheer for them until the end. So that's what I do when I'm watching Halloween Wars. But every time that I pick a team, they manage to make it to the final, but they never win. I don't know why, but it's like that. If you want to watch it, you just have to look for it on the Food Network. Now let's talk about something less known, with only 18 rating on IMDb, The Great Halloween Fright Fight. Because of this show, I discovered my favorite Halloween YouTube channel ever, so of course it has a special place in my heart. Basically, it's about 6 families that are building massive displays for Halloween. What they have done is beyond crazy. It's impressive, it's beautiful, it's perfect for Halloween lovers like us.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Gina.
And we're Hollywood Haunter from Glendale, California.
The show starts with Gina and Chris from Hollywood Hunter, my favorites, the channel I was talking you about earlier. So we see them introduce themselves and showing us what they have worked on. And truly their work is magical. They have built a creepy house just like we see in the movies.
So this is a house on the block of the neighborhood that all the kids are so super scared of. They throw rocks at it, they lose their toys and their balls in the yard, but they never want to go in and get it.
They built a spooky facade they put in front of their house. It was so well made, you cannot tell their real house was behind it. I was amazed by all the work they have done. They were my team. They are talented, they have a great personality, and they love Halloween, so I guess that's why I fell in love with them. As soon as the show ended, I was subscribed to their channel. I'm planning on making a video about the best Halloween channel I know, so of course I'm gonna talk more about them in that video, but let's just say I decided to start my own channel after I watched a specific video that Gina posted in 2002. It triggered something in me. I will talk to you more about that story in that upcoming video. So, The Great Halloween Fright Fight is a fun TV show you can watch with the whole family. It's inspiring and basically it shows there's other ways to express yourself and bond as a family. I love it.
There's one done. It's just something we're driven to do because we love Halloween and we love to solve problems of how to make something ourselves.
I wanted to end by saying we see Haunted Overload in it. If you follow Grimm Live Collective, you must know about this amazing hunt. It must be the most beautiful place on earth. Grimm Live Collective went there and took gorgeous footage of the place. If you haven't seen this video right here, I will leave the link in the description below. You will see, it's like taking a shot of Halloween. It wakes you up. I'm almost done with those suggestions. I hope you're having fun until now. I wanted to finish this video with a TV show called Monsterama and hosted by Elvira. Once again, there's not a single rating on the IMDb, which in this case really surprised me. It was hosted by Elvira, it was on TV for 2 years, and it was a great quality show, so I don't understand why. But you can be the first one to rate it if you want to. Somebody puts all the episodes on YouTube so you can watch them all and rate the show after. The show focuses on cinema, on the horror genre, and on classical monsters from Universal Studios, and I love that so much.
Horus rises once more, this time from Cortland's hand-painted, hand-carved sarcophagus, placed in this chilling display of Lon Chaney Jr. as the mummy.
The clip we just saw came from the first episode of Monsterama. It's about a famous attraction called The Witch's Dungeon. In it, every characters are made by the owner. And I love episodes like this where you get to see things handmade. When you see the person that are making those things. And in Monsterama, there's a few of those. But if it's not your thing, don't worry. The show has so much more to offer. Each episode is on a new subject, on a new person, on a new discipline, so I'm sure you can find something you like. I enjoyed watching all of them, so it might be the case for you too. You will have to look for that. But one of my favorite episodes was on the Monsters collectibles. It's just a fun episode with fun music and, I don't know, a retro vibe. You see tons of fun toys and all, but not only. For those who watch my Monsters project, yes, we get to see the model kit in it.
In 1965, the Aurora Plastics Company came out with this ultra-detailed scale model of the Munsters enjoying their favorite TV show in their living room.
The one they show on the show was the older version of the model we built on the channel. The one they showed was the 1965. The one we built was the 2010. There's a few differences between the two models, but it's the same. I was really happy to see it on screen in that context and presented by Elvira. So that was my list of the best things to watch around Halloween. But if you think it's missing something, please let me know. I will love to hear from you. What is your best documentary? What put you in the mood? I want to know. Please help me put more title on my list. If you want to see more of those suggestions videos from me, just let me know by liking the video. That way I know you like that content and I will try to produce more. So that's it. Stay safe and spooky and I'll see you soon with more Halloween stuff to come. Bye!